Hi, gorgeous souls. Okay, so I've had quite a few people ask me, what's the difference between a tarot deck and an oracle deck? A lot of differences. Okay, first up, let's look a little bit at history. Tarot decks have been around for, and I did write this down just to make sure that I have my facts straight. Since 1425 was the first recorded tarot deck. A lot of the tarot decks through history have been painted, they've been put onto metal, they've been put onto wood, they've been put in, the original, the first one, and I'm going to get this right, Visconti Sforza Tarot, and there were 35 cards in the deck, only 35. The traditional tarot deck now is it's 78 cards. It is 22 cards of them are the major arcanas. There is, and I actually, well, there we go, look, I'm going to say I actually have right at my hand, only because I always have a pack of cards within arm's reach. So the minor arcanas, and every person who does a tarot deck bases it on exactly the same. It's major arcanas and then the 4 minor arcana suits, and the suits are well, with these ones they're a bit different. My Greenwich ones, which, let's face it, I have a set here. My Greenwich ones are actually based on my Greenwich background. So it is these ones here. Instead of swords, it's athames. Instead of cups, it's chalices. There is wands. Other ones will have staffs. They're all basically the same thing. It's all based on, you know, athames is a sword. So there's that. A chalice is a cup. It's just that with the Greenwich ones, they're more ceremonial tools that we use when we're practicing with, you know, and obeying Sabbaths. So, and rituals. So we've got, so basically pentacles, once again, could be coins. But the meanings are all very, very, very much the same. Like athames is very much about your brain, more as in how you're thinking, how you're processing, whether you're overthinking things, whether you are thinking things too much or not enough, you know, all those things. You'll find that chalices tends to be about the heart, about the feelings, about the emotions. Pentacles is about money, finances, possessions, and wands is about work and study and communication. So they're all based on the same thing, all have the same amount. Like, so they start from ace through to the court cards. They have, every tarot deck has exactly the same. So they all have the same amount of major arcanas. They all have, you know, when I look at this one, so the first card I can see here is I have the Lord of the Shadows, which in the Rider-Waite, and I use Rider-Waite as an example because it's one of the most well-known and used decks that there are, and Rider-Waite has been around since 1909. So this card here with my Greenwich Tarot, which is by Anne Mora, this one here, the Lord of the Shadows, the equivalent is the Death card. So you've got basically the cards are the same. Some decks rename them, you know, like some people call the Fool the Hanged Man. It could be, you know, different cards have different you know, different, I'm just trying to find yeah, so there's that. So while they're all based on exactly the same thing, some have different names. So I'm just having a look here. So we've got here, look, while this is the Star, this is my Archangel Power Tarot card. So while this is the Star, it actually is Archangel Jophiel. So, and forgive me if I pronounce that wrong, but it's, you know, a lot of them are all, I'm just going to go through. Okay, so card number 1 in this is the Magician. Now the Magician is the Hangman or the Fool, same card. but this represents Archangel Raziel. So basically tarot cards are all based on a, I'm going to say, strict format of 4 minor arcana suits and 1, block of major arcanas. So basically, I'm going to say, look, the oldest, running through a couple of the old decks, and I have got them written down. So in 1425, there was the Visconti Sforza Tarot. In 1428 to 1447, Visconti Tarot. In the 1400s, there was Charles the Sixth Tarot. You've got the Solar Busca in 1490 Tarot. The de Massal, I can't pronounce that properly, 1500s. Right through to quite a few, right away, 1909, and the Thoth deck, which was, it's funny because it was actually created in 1942, but it was produced in 1960. Big difference. So now the oldest oracle is back in the 1800s, so it's not as steeped in history. So the difference, let's go here. Basically, the tarot is based on a format. Oracle is anything the person wants it to be. It can be any amount of cards. It can be any message. It can be, I'm going to say that there was, at one stage, there was a huge big lot of angel oracle cards released, and then it was crystal oracle cards, and it all seemed to be, it was something that everyone went in. Chakra oracle cards were a huge big thing at one point in time. It seems to go in cycles, lunar and moon, not naming moonology as a specific brand, but lunar and moon cycle cards were another big one. I'm just looking at some of the ones that I've got here sitting on my desk here. And then there were a lot of other ones, that were affirmation cards. So affirmation cards kind of don't fall into the category of oracle cards because they're a little bit more different. But there's chakra ones, like as in, chakra cards that, that's not right one. Chakra cards. Then there's, like all different other sorts of cards. So the main difference is that the tarot cards are based on a format, and it's quite a strict format. 78 cards broken down into major arcanas, minor arcanas, 4 suits. Now, whether they rename a couple of the major arcanas, as in magician, fool, hangman, like however they want to rename them, yep, absolutely, there's that. But it still has, and I'm going to say, one thing I have noticed is that not all of the meanings are exactly the same. It's the different ones, they put their little spin on it. So I have noticed that you might have one card that, Lord of the Shadows, it's called Death card in another one, and it has that little bit of a spin. It's almost like the people that are producing them throw their own little personality in there a little bit. Don't change it, don't change the number, don't change the order, don't change any of that, but they put their little bit of a tweak on it, and they put their tweak on it. So it is so you've got 22 major arcanas out of a 78 card deck, and then you've got 4 suits, and the suits are from ace all the way through up through the court cards, and that's and the basic premise of each of the suits means a certain thing, and that tends to not really change much through whatever deck. And the oracle cards are tarot cards. I find once you learn them, then the intuition starts to kick in, and then it's easier to read them. And there's a big difference between learning them and reading them. And once you learn them and you practice more and more, you'll learn to read them and understand them. And once you actually find a deck, and here's the really big thing, find a deck that resonates with you. Find a deck that is you. Find a deck that is all about you. If you can't find one that's all about you, keep looking. And then once you get your deck and you've played with it, you felt the energy, it vibrates, it zings in your hands, you might find that tarot is not for you. You might find that oracle is for you. Don't lock yourself into, I want to read tarot, because sometimes it's not for you. And sometimes oracle is. And find the oracle cards that work for you, because they will zing in your hand. It's whatever you go like, oh my God, that energy is amazing. I'm going to be honest, I've got over 100 decks of cards, and some are my favorites and some are not. When I moved from the house to the cottage, I actually gave away so many decks of cards, because I believe that you shouldn't hold on to them if they're not yours. You'll know they might be one that you've never touched, you've never read, you've never nothing, they don't resonate, but you've got them, so pass them on to the next person. It's meant to be. That's the way that cards go. That's the way that things are. But you might find that oracle is more your thing. And those that are learning with their intuition, oracle's a great card, because you can put your own spin on it. Because even though the person may have written, I've got oracle cards down that way. Yeah. Even though, there might be, the person may have written in the book about what the card means, you may pick that card up and go, oh no, this means something else. I'm picking up these vibes. And it's perfectly fine, absolutely perfectly fine, to put your own intuition into the reading, into the card. In fact, I actually think it's better than just blindly reading from a book or following a book. We can all do that. It's not that freaking hard. And I'm not poo-pooing anyone that's how they do their readings. Hell no. If that works for you, absolutely groovy, because you're still a reader. You're still a reader. You're reading from the book. You're reading the cards. Still a reader. I take nothing away from you. But what I'm saying is, when you find that deck that resonates with you, when you find that deck that makes you go, oh my God, you won't need the book. You will find that the words will just flow. Everything will just flow. Now you've found your deck. Be it tarot, be it oracle, be it animal card, be it chakra cards, be it moon cards, be it, whatever cards it is. You've found your deck. Now what do? First up, you've got to cleanse them. Cleanse that deck, because it's got all the energy from everywhere. You may have bought it online. It's got everyone's energy that's ever touched the box. You may have bought it in a bookshop. How many people have touched the box? All those energy, all those vibes. I tend to get there, and I have Palo Santo, so I'll light the Palo Santo. I will let the smoke go, and I'll put the box over it. And then I'll actually get the cards out, and I will lay the cards all out, and I will have the Palo Santo, and I'll use a feather and waft it over, turn the cards over, waft it over. And then what I'll do is I will get there and spread the cards all out, and right in the center I'll put a nice piece of black kyanite and leave them like that overnight. The black kyanite absorbs all residue energy that still might be attached to them, but it transmutes it, so it doesn't have to be, it doesn't hold on to it. And then once you've done that, that's when you start sleeping with them. That's when you carry them in your handbag. Buy them a special pouch if you want to. This is when your cards then become your best friend. You put them under your pillow and sleep with them. And don't be surprised if messages come flooding through. But you put them under your pillow. Carry them with you. If you're sitting down watching TV, get rid of the food that's parked up next to you. No Tim Tams. Don't need the Tim Tams. Put the fucking cards next to you. Hold on to them. Put them in a bag where you can just put your hands in and fiddle and touch and play. Get your energy into them, because that's what's going to help you read. That's where your intuition will kick in, is that when you get there and you're focused on putting your energy in. It doesn't matter about when you're reading for someone else. That is something totally different. And I'll deal with that in another video. But at the moment, what you're doing is you are programming your cards for you. You're programming your energy into your cards. So you need to be more putting them, have them everywhere, carry them. If you go to work, take them to work and put them, you know, on your desk next to you. You know, if you've got yourself a nice little velvet bag, put them in that, and no one's going to know what they are if you don't want anyone to know. Have them everywhere with you. They've got to be as close as they can, arm's reach, so that they're picking up your energy and your vibes. You know, I tend to put a little crystal. For me, it's a piece of black kyanite or blue kyanite. Black kyanite is better if other people's energy is going to be around your cards, because once again, it absorbs that energy and transmutes it. So it's keeps the energy pure in your cards. So I tend to have that. I love blue kyanite. It's one of my favorite stones. So I will throw in a blue kyanite as well. So look at those kind of things, you know, depending on the type of card they are, as to then look at maybe there might be other crystals that you want. I mean, one of the crystals that I use all the time, let's see, have them everywhere, or everything, is this is my Herkimer diamond, and I bought this from Kate Cappy from Breathe, Crystals that Breathe. And yes, she has a website, and yes, she has a Facebook page, and yes, you can contact her, and she takes orders as well. So this is the beautiful Herkimer, and this one here is, as you can tell, it's a huge, if I hold it like that, you can see just how big it actually is. Like, you know, that's my finger, that's the nail, that's my, you know, it's huge. You can actually see, you know, like it's a huge one. So yeah, but put your orders in. And this one here, I find anyone that has readings from me will find that I sit and I hold this and I play with it, and it's everywhere with me when I go. It's as much a part of me as what my cards are. So just wrapping up, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to comment down below. Please feel free to comment, and I will answer any of them. But yeah, Rider-Waite is, I think that it tends to be the card that most people think of when they think of tarot cards, because they've been around for, well, since 1909. And they're the most well-known deck, I'm going to say. They're the one that most people teach. They're the one that, you know, first deck. I mean, it was the first deck I ever owned. I don't resonate with them, straight up. I do not. I have like 3 decks of them, and I've tried, and I've had people go, but they're the easiest to read. I'm like, oh, I don't get it. I've got vintage Rider-Waite decks, you know, but they just don't resonate for me. I'm in the process of waiting to find who the correct person is for them to be gifted to, because they're just not for me. But I haven't come across the right person for them yet. So when I do, they'll be gifted. I don't hold on to them, you know, just because I bought them and gone, I should read them. And that just doesn't do it for me. If they don't feel right, they go to the next person. And so Rider-Waite tends to be the most well-known deck with tarot. So there is, like, they're all loosely based on the same theme. That they all have the 78 cards in them. They all have, you know, the 21, 22, 21. Oh, jeez, I've got brain fart. Sorry, got an ant right there. So yeah, they're all, basically, you can get there and you can, so you can get there and you can choose your oracle card. You know, like, look, I'm going to show you some of these. I don't know if these will, if the writing will show up. Okay, but if you have a look, these are the power, Archangel Power tarot cards. These are great. And I'm going to say, these, as tarot cards, these are great for learning. These are fantastic for learning. If you have a look, the Star. Now, as a major arcana, it's still got, you know, stuff written down the bottom. So these are fantastic. These are absolutely fantastic. So if you have a look, these are, if you get a chance to find them. Now, this is a 4 of Raphael. Now, Raphael is the equivalent of chalices. So if you have a look, these are great to learn because they've got that little thing down the bottom, that little blurb down the bottom, which will help you. Now, while it may not have the same meaning, as specifically the same meaning as the Rider-Waite, it does have a great meaning. So yeah. So there is oracle cards, there is tarot cards, there is angel cards, there is chakra cards, there is crystal cards, there is all sorts of cards, and it really just does depend on what you prefer to use. So wrapping it up, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask me. Tarot deck, sometimes Rider-Waite is the easiest to learn with. For me, not. Oracle cards, use your intuition. Either way, keep the cards with you, keep them cleansed, keep them on you, feel the energy. Tarot is based on the same format with everyone. 78 cards in the deck, 22 major arcanas, 4 suits. Other than that, with my Green Witch, it is chalices, it is pentacles, it is athames, and it is wands. They all have the same meaning. All of them have the same meaning no matter what deck you use. Oracle cards can be any amount of cards, any meaning, any pictures, any theme, anything. It is totally up to the person who designs them. The person who designs them, basically, it's whatever their imagination conceives. It is, yeah. Okay, so I would love you guys to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more people that share my videos, the more people that interact, the more chance that I'm going to be able to start doing lives, which is what I really want to do, to start doing live readings. I do have a Facebook page, Rainbow Farm Reiki and Readings, where I do live readings and I do gratitude challenges and put up lots of information and have competitions. I have a group, Rainbow Farm Reiki and Readings, as well, and that's where a lot of my lives are, and there's lots of information. The stuff that I don't put on here, I put in there. I also have Insta, and I've just set up TikTok, so I'm just gonna start playing with TikTok as well. So feel free to give this my YouTube channel a thumbs up for this video and a subscribe. I really appreciate it. Jump across to my Facebook page and my Insta and my TikTok in a week. I'll get some format and put on there in a week. So have a wonderful day, and this is Bobbi from Rainbow Farm Reiki and Readings, and thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully this has given you a little bit of information. Go and get yourself a deck. Find what deck works for you. Find what resonates with you. Get there, cleanse them, sleep with them, play with them, and allow spirit to come through for you. But find the right deck for you. All right, guys. Bye.